Teacher Talking Sports, what it does, what it do, how we live. And let's continue the series I began a few days ago where I attempt to name the best player in each NFL franchise's history. Let me say, man, what a crazy free agency day. I just got home from work. I got a lot of reading to do. Maybe a video coming on that free agency later. But anyhow, let's get back to this. I've done 5 teams: Arizona, Atlanta, Baltimore, Buffalo, and Carolina. So this is the sixth. Going in alphabetical order. So today we are doing the Chicago Bears. Now, the Chicago Bears have been an NFL franchise for over a century, since 1922. So to single out one player as the best is no easy feat. Now, 2 off seasons ago, I did my NFL Mount Rushmores by team, 4 best players in each team's franchise history. Last offseason, I did Mount Rushmores by position, 4 best players at each position, NFL history. So for all these, I've been looking at who I picked for the Mount Rushmore before naming the best player and saying if I would make any changes. Now, when I did this 2 off seasons ago, my Mount Rushmore was Dick Butkus, one of the most legendary linebackers in NFL history. Walter Payton, all-time great running back, was on my Mount Rushmore of running backs. Mike Singletary, another spectacular linebacker, 2-time defensive player of the year. And Brian Urlacher. So 3 out of 4 guys are linebackers, and Urlacher is also a former defensive player of the year. Would I change anything? Probably not. What I would say is that I think 3 of the 4, Peyton, Butkus, and Singletary, have to stay on. There's definitely a case for one of my honorable mentions. Maybe if I researched it a little more, I would consider putting them over Urlacher. But some of my honorable mentions when I did this included Mike Ditka, Gale Sayers, Jimbo Covert, Sid Luckman, Matt Forte, Lance Briggs, Olin Kreutz, Bronco Nagurski, Red Grange, Dan Hampton, Steve McMichael, Richard Dent, and Bulldog Turner. Of course, some of those guys are real old timers before my time. But again, I would maybe research and decide if I would keep Urlacher over some of those honorable mentions. But let's get into it. My best player in Chicago Bears history would have to be Sweetness himself, running back Walter Payton. Payton played 13 seasons in the NFL, all with the Bears. 4th overall pick in the 1975 NFL Draft. First ballot Hall of Famer in 1993. Just a legendary career, including a Super Bowl win. The famed 85 Bears. We take a look at his season by season numbers. So 16,726 rushing yards is the second most in NFL history, only behind Emmitt Smith. His 110 rushing touchdowns are the 5th most in NFL history. 3rd all time in yards from scrimmage, 21,264. 3rd all time in all-purpose yards, 21,803 yards. Payton led the league in rushing yards in 1977. That was one of 5 seasons he was a first-team All-Pro. Altogether, was named to 9 Pro Bowls. He had 10 seasons where he rushed for over 1,000 yards. 5 seasons where he had double-digit rushing touchdowns. Also did a lot of work out of the backfield as a pass catcher. 492 catches for 4,538 yards and 15 touchdowns. In 1977, Payton was named the MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. Payton also had MVP finishes of 2nd, 3rd, and 6th in his career. In 9 career playoff games, rushed for 632 yards while adding 22 receptions. Was on my Mount Rushmore again for best running back in NFL history, alongside Jim Brown, Emmitt Smith, and Barry Sanders. There's definitely a case where you could say maybe he's the best running back in NFL history. But in my eyes, he is the best Chicago Bear of all time, although Dick Buckus is an all-time legend as well, and he definitely has a case, as I mentioned. Mike Singletary, 10-time Pro Bowler, 7-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Another guy. Those would definitely be my top three, though. But let me know in the comments if you agree Walter Payton as the best Chicago Bear in team history. With all these teams, I've been saying if I believe any of their active players have a chance to overtake the GOAT or maybe at least be on the Mount Rushmore. And honestly, the Bears haven't been a good team of late. I can't see it. I mean, Jalen Johnson's getting paid like a top cornerback, but he's only had one superb season thus far. Let's wait a little bit before we even think about crowning him as an all-time Chicago Bear great. But um, the fan base would definitely love to see Caleb Williams up there. Of course, the Bears have been looking for a superstar quarterback since basically Sid Luckman, who played mostly in the 1940s. But stay tuned. I said I wasn't sure if I'd be doing these daily, but I have been since I started. So if it continues, tomorrow I will be doing the Cincinnati Bengals. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.